Hey, I'm Taco Crave, and I'm just a green pixel artist. Welcome to another process video, and today we're working on a 64 by 64 pixel portrait of Luigi from Super Mario Bros. For these portraits, I usually start with a 1-bit draft or line art to get their general proportions in place, before adding any more details and rendering. Ideally, at this 1-bit stage, I make all the major adjustments and finalize the overall shape, since it would be significantly harder to make any adjustments when it's rendered. I use the word ideally because I ended up changing my mind on how I want the character to look while I was rendering it. You'll see it happen while watching the video. Now with the 1-bit draft done, it's time to copy it and start adding in colors. When rendering, I prefer starting with the face, mainly because I struggle with it the most at my current skill level. There's a saying about eating the frog first or something. I prefer getting the hard part done first. I've been using human portraits as references on how the shadow and highlights look at this 3x4 angle, and I find it easier to use than using other stylized portraits as references. Maybe because it's direct to the point, or maybe it's just closer to the style that I'm trying to achieve. I'm not sure. I was originally going to draw Mario, but I settled with Luigi because green, and the palette that I was using didn't have a distinct shade of red. I'm using the palette Pastel Retro Handheld by Sysl-Dev. I'll link it down below at the description. I think around this time, I was starting to think there was something not right with the portrait. I've done a couple of other portraits of my OCs prior to this, and Luigi's portrait seemed out of place when compared to them. However, around this time I considered the portrait done and took a break. It's not bad, but shortly after, I realized I could make it better. I decided to give Luigi a more manly and handyman look to them, and so I made the necessary adjustments to contribute toward this concept. Though this required me to make major adjustments to the portrait, which would have been ideal to do during the 1-bit stage. The whole point of the 1-bit to render workflow is to get all the major shapes done in 1-bit so it's easier to adjust them. But sometimes things don't work perfectly. And it's done! I'm quite happy with the final result, though you can see how far it looks from the draft. I was hoping this process video would have been smoother, but I think it's also good to show how important it is to be forward-thinking when it comes to art. It's always better to know what you're working towards when creating something, since it saves you time and leaves you with a better looking output. Well, most of the time. I think I'll make more process videos like these in the future, but I'd like to know if you like this format of me yapping while drawing. I'll see you next time.